Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The Green Hydrogen Council formally welcomes you to this August event, the launch and award ceremony of the Green Hydrogen Namibia pilot projects and the Youth for Green Hydrogen Scholarship. Please be seated as we wait for the commencement of the program. A copy of the program is available at one of the information stations just by the door. So if you don't have a program, please, you can get one by the door. We also have some welcoming drinks, which is in the hallway. So if you have not as yet had a welcoming drink, it is just right outside in the hall. And we also encourage you this morning to please take as many pictures as you can by the GH2 NAM photo corner. We will be starting with the program shortly, but if you are inside, please do find your seat.
twena mazawana, imazawana, 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 twena mazawana, imazawana, 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 twena mazawana, imazawana, 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 twena mazawana, haina mabini, iskoro skoro, haina mabini, iskoro skoro, push, push, haina mabini, push, push, iskoro skoro, push, push, haina mabini, push, push, iskoro skoro, haina mabini, iskoro skoro, haina mabini, iskoro skoro, push, push, haina mabini, push, push, 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 iskoro skoro.
Skin.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for those that just got in the room, a very good morning to you. Once again, welcome to the launch and the award ceremony of the Green Hydrogen Pilot Projects and the Youth for Green Hydrogen Scholarships. Please do find your seat and make yourself comfortable. We will be starting with the program shortly. We do apologize. There's just a slight delay, but we will be commencing with the program for this morning. Thank you very much.
It's a land of pride and dignity. Namibia, we love thee. It's a land of diversity. That's where we want to be. Namibia, 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 Namibia.
Ladies and gentlemen, please let's start taking our seats. Thank you so much for coming. Please let us take our seats. We should be joined by His Excellency anytime soon now. Please rise and let us welcome the President of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Hage G. Geingob. Thank you. Could we please prepare to play the national anthems and the AU anthem as well?
We give
Please be seated. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are extremely honored that you have all taken the time to come and celebrate with us today the outcomes of a beautiful partnership that, of course, has been envisioned by our president and, of course, our government as we really try to engender an industrialization opportunity in Namibia like no other. I would like, of course, to take the opportunity to set the protocol and, of course, to welcome a few of our special dignitaries. Of course, I have to start with our president, Dr. Hage G. Gengop, who has actually taken time today to join us for this event. We, of course, have our very special guest, Minister Bettina Stark-Watzinger, the Minister of Education and Research of the Federal Government of Germany. To her right, of course, we are joined by Ambassador, His Excellency, Ambassador Herbert Beck, a very good friend of Namibia. Always good to have you back in our midst as well. We are joined, of course, by Honorable Obeth Kanjode, who's the chairperson of the Green Hydrogen Council, supported, of course, by Honorable Tomal Wendo, who is the Minister of Mines and Energy. He, too, is a member of the Green Hydrogen Council. For this momentous occasion, we are very glad, of course, to welcome Honorable Kanji Murangi, our Minister of Higher Education, Technology, and Innovation, whom has been a very key part of our scholarship program. This program would not have been delivered without the assistance of SASCAL, and of course, Dr. Jane Olwatch, the Executive Director of SASCAL, is here with us. And of course, we're hosted by the Minister of Presidential Affairs, Madame Christine Toibes. Thank you so much for hosting us in this beautiful hall once again. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is James Mnupe. I will be the Master of Ceremonies today. I am the President's Economic Advisor, and of course, I am also the Green Hydrogen Commissioner. We're here today to celebrate the practical outputs of an agreement and a partnership that we really embarked upon in August 2021, when the BMBF, just 5 months, of course, after His Excellency launched HPP2, identified the Namibian government's plans as an able and capable partner. The joint communication of intent was executed in August 2021, as we mentioned, and essentially a 40 million grant was provided by the Ministry of Education and Research to the Namibian government to engender a green hydrogen local economy right here at home. That program was split into 3 parts: a scholarship part, a pilot project part, and of course, a strategy component as well. And a lot of these will be elaborated upon throughout the ceremony today. But without further ado, I would absolutely love to welcome to the stage Honorable Obeth Kanjode, the chairperson of the Green Hydrogen Council, to give the welcoming and opening address. Please let's give him a round of applause.
Good morning, all. Director of Ceremony, Mr. James Mnupe. Of course, Your Excellency, Dr. Hage Gottfried Geinkop, President of the Republic of Namibia, Cabinet Ministers present, Honorable Bettina Stark-Watzinger, Minister of Education and Research of the Federal Republic of Germany. At this juncture, the lessons from His Excellency is to stand by all protocols as observed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm distinctly honored to address you on important highlights on Namibia's green hydrogen initiative and the Namibian government's vision for an energy transition that unites both economic development and climate neutrality goals. Namibia's green hydrogen ambition is premised on the second Harambee Prosperity Plan, which is a fast-track action plan towards economic recovery and inclusive growth, in which Namibia aspires to provide growth stimuli to its economic sectors, responding to socioeconomic challenges such as income inequality, as well as exploring green growth pathways for Namibia, with the singular aim to become the first carbon neutral African nation. In actualizing that ambition, Namibia has cast hand to will to implement the national green hydrogen and green ammonia strategies, while harnessing its abundant renewable energy resources such as solar, wind, hydro for renewable power production for domestic use and regionally through the Southern African Power Pool. In demonstrating astute leadership and effective governance, His Excellency the President, Dr. Hage G. Geingob, in July 2021, constituted an 8-member Green Hydrogen Council, chaired by the National Planning Commission, with the Ministry of Mines and Energy, Bank of Namibia, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Environment and Tourism, Ministry of Higher Education, Technology, and Innovation, Office of the Attorney General, the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board, and of course, the additional member being the Presidential Economic Affairs and Green Hydrogen Commissioner, Mr. James Nyupe, as council members tasked with overseeing the development of the green hydrogen opportunity. 9 proposals were from 6 global, regional, and local players were received, and Hyphen Energy was selected as the preferred bidder to develop the 2 land parcels that were on offer back then. Hyphen submitted a comprehensive offer to conduct feasibility studies, and if those prove viable, to develop a 2-phase multi-billion-dollar project, with the first phase of this project expected to enter production in 2026. That phase will see the creation of 2 gigawatts of renewable electricity generation capacity to produce green hydrogen for conversion into green ammonia at an estimated capital cost of $4.4 billion US, or the equivalent of 80.1 billion Namibia dollars. Further expansion phases in the late 2020s will expand combined renewable generation capacity to 5 gigawatts and 3 gigawatts, respectively, of electrolyzer capacity, increasing combined total investment to $9.4 billion US, or the equivalent of 171 billion Namibia dollars, and green hydrogen production to 300,000 tons through the strategic deployment of research and development, targeted stimulative investment, and pilot projects. 3 other hydrogen valleys may emerge over time. These will be subject to the Namibian synthetic fuel strategy to be developed by the Ministry of Mines and Energy. As I close, let me highlight that all these projects are geared towards exploiting the green hydrogen and green ammonia opportunity in a 2-pronged manner that empowers Namibia to play its role as a global citizen as the world economy works to transition to net zero emissions. The process is 2-pronged because in the same renewable energy opportunity, Namibia's vast renewable resources offer a once-in-a-generation opportunity to jumpstart Namibia's industrialization, achieve energy security, and increase prosperity for its citizens, as envisioned under the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2 and our country's long-term developmental framework, the Vision 2030. I trust, therefore, Your Excellency, that the above synopsis has enlightened us all on Namibia's green hydrogen ambition and vision. I thank you.
The world is not what it used to be. Intertwined challenges continue to entangle humanity in their grasp. The planet that we call home edges towards dissipation, and even though Mother Nature always does her part, her natural resources are constantly depleting as we continue leading her down this unsustainable path. The elders have always said that when elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. As humanity seeks selfish progression at the cost of resources that cannot be replenished, the earth cries out because those destroying it are the ones meant to save it. And Namibia and Germany have listened. The two governments have signed a joint communique of intent to support renewable energy and green hydrogen industry in Namibia. The BMBF has availed 12 million euro through SASCAL to fund the first green hydrogen village in Namibia, the Daures Green Hydrogen Village. This is a partnership for a clean green future which will assist in achieving socio-economic development. The creation of a village whose practices will honor the land and trust in the sun and the wind. A community that will lead Namibia into the future of clean energy. A way of life that does not take air away from Mother Nature's lungs, but instead collaborates with the elements, moving as one and creating a sustainable existence for many. Located in the heart of Erongo and named after the highest peak of the land of the brave, Daures Green Hydrogen Project is here to usher Namibia into a new reality built on ensuring the longevity of our land and its people, conceived by young Namibians and supported by the government. Daures Green Hydrogen Village will produce Namibia's first green hydrogen and green ammonia in 2023, creating 50 full-time jobs and 100 temporary jobs during construction in Phase 1, with future phases of the project seeing over 100 wind turbines erected, over half a gigawatt of solar panels, over 350,000 tons of ammonia per year, all with the involvement of academia, researching tractor conversions to run on ammonia and hydrogen. Daures Green Hydrogen Village can support the decarbonization of Namibia, SADC, and even Europe. Because the earth has cried out for long enough. The time to act is now, and we are ready. This is the future. This is sustainability. This is Daures.
Now, to be honest, I don't know about all of you, but when I watched that video, I was pretty excited. And today is a serious event, but it's also a celebration. I think we should all smile and we should all be happy. I know that when Mr. Mansman was with me at the launch of the project on Monday, we couldn't help but dance a little bit with the members of the community when this good news was delivered. And so this is a very, very exciting time indeed. This particular project, as you could see from the video clip, aspires to actually produce ammonia for export, but also use it locally to support agricultural endeavors to start producing carbon-free tomatoes and carrots And it'll also actually encompass a local community project where the local community will be empowered, taught, and supplied with equipment and fertilizer to grow their own produce, which will then be off-taken by the project as well. Quite a phenomenal ambition, and I'm sure with our partners, we should be able to achieve it. But this is one of 4 pilot projects that we would want to launch in Namibia over the next year. And so really, to tell you a little bit more about this particular project, we are extremely excited to welcome Honorable Tom Alwendo, who's our Minister of Mines and Energy, who will tell you about not just this project, but all the other pilot projects as well. Let's welcome Honorable Alwendo.
His Excellency Dr. Hage G. Geingob, President of the Republic, Minister Bettina Stark-Watzinger, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As it was said, both by the Master of Ceremony, also by the Chairperson of the Green Hydrogen Council, this morning we are here to launch the Green Hydrogen Pilot Project, and also to launch our Youth for Green Hydrogen Scholarship Program. And this event, for us, really it marks yet another milestone in our commitments towards a green economy. And to a large extent, this was made possible really by our transformative power of partnership with the Ministry of Education and Research of the Federal Republic of Germany, BFB, and here this morning, represented by the Minister. James says that what you just saw there is just one of the 4 pilot projects that we are launching. So I'll say a little bit more about all the 4 projects, and starting with the first one, that is the Dares constituency project that we just saw. That is a pilot project that is situated in the Rongo region in the Dares constituency. And the groundbreaking ceremony took place only 2 days ago. James, it was not on Monday, it was on Tuesday. But this is one of the really project that we can really be proud of. This project intends to develop Africa's first green hydrogen village that profiles hydrogen use and also interrogates the feasibility of the village on a semi-industrial scale. The project will be executed in 4 phases. Phase 1 and 2 will focus on the proof of concept of production of green hydrogen and ammonia as an efficient and widely used source of nitrogen fertilizers in agricultural green schemes. As you know, we do have green schemes in the country, and of course, this will be one of the usage of this produce that will come from this project. Phases 3 and 4 will focus on providing an industrial level production for local consumption and international exports. And this is an important point to mention that this is for local consumption and also for export. There was a time when we also thought that all the green hydrogen products that we are going to be producing will be only for export. But some of this will also be used to decarbonize our economy. I would also like to commend the promoter of this project for having really done a lot in terms of the community engagement. For example, they have included the community of Dares constituency into the ownership of their project, making sure that the community also benefit from this. And this is really a great example of being a good corporate citizens, and we would like to encourage all the other investors, not only in the green hydrogen space, but in all the economy, to make sure that we become good corporate citizens in the communities where we are operating. The second pilot is a green hydrogen diesel dual fuel locomotive project that is situated in Walvis Bay. Now, as we all know, rail transportation consumes a lot of energy, and currently only fossil fuel energy. For example, currently in Namibia, we consume about 11 million liters of diesel in our rail transportation on an annual basis. With the Trans-Namib fleet that is due for an upgrade, obviously now an opportunity has been presented to us to use green hydrogen as a source of energy in our rail transportation. Therefore, this project aims to develop the first hydrogen dual fuel locomotive in Africa. It builds on existing green hydrogen production and supply project in Namibia to create local offtake for the green hydrogen to be produced in the western part of the country. The third pilot project is a green hydrogen application in the port environment, also located in Walvis Bay. This pilot project, ladies and gentlemen, is an initiative of Clean Energy Solutions Namibia, CMB in Germany, and Namport. And the idea here is to decarbonize port logistics, reduce the port's carbon footprint, and also use alternative fuels, that is green hydrogen, which allows the port operations to transition to low carbon operations. This will enable an ecosystem built on green hydrogen as it accelerates the adoption of hydrogen application within the country by tackling both the refueling infrastructure and also providing captive usage of hydrogen. It is envisioned that this will be one of the first African maritime-focused projects to implement hydrogen-powered tugboats and also later explore the possibility of using hydrogen to power heavy-duty port equipment, as well as being one of the first ports in Africa to supply green hydrogen for bunkering vessels and also refueling equipment. The fourth pilot project, ladies and gentlemen, is also in Walvis Bay, and this is a green hydrogen plant refueling station. This project is by CMB Tech, and it aims to produce ammonia at gigawatt scale. Feasibility studies were conducted, which identified Namibia as one of the top 3 countries in the world with the best solar energy potential. The idea, therefore, was to convert that energy into hydrogen and ammonia and create opportunities for the export of these products, the usage as a clean fuel, and the conversion into green chemicals, which is very, very important for our agriculture sector, for example. Your Excellency, all these pilot projects are really looking to illustrate the viability of building a local green hydrogen economy as envisioned in our HPP2. This project also served to anchor the development of the Erongo Hydrogen Valley as described in our synthetic fuel strategy, which we have showcased during the COP27 in Egypt not long ago. We would like to thank the German government and in particular BMBF for making this possible. It is now my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to you our guest of honor, Minister Bettina Stark-Watzinger, Minister of Education and Research of the Federal Republic of Germany. Honorable Minister.
President Gango, Minister Hopes, Minister of the Presidential Affairs, Minister Alvendo, Minister of Mines and Energy, Minister Kanji Murangi, Minister of Higher Education, Obis Kanjosi, Director General of the National Planning Commission, ladies and gentlemen. My delegation, comprising not only representatives from my ministry, but also scientists and myself, we are really happy to be here today. When two countries with ambitious plans join forces, a lot can happen. The future of climate neutrality belongs to green hydrogen. Green hydrogen is the missing link in the energy transition. This applies to Germany, just as it does to other regions in the world. The hydrogen economy will be global. I'm therefore convinced that it can only be solved, that we can only work it out together with international partners and cooperation. This is also part of our national hydrogen strategy. And Namibia has outstanding conditions for the cost-effective production of green hydrogen and the development of a hydrogen supply chain. It has ideal wind and sun conditions, large areas available land, and a stable democracy. Today marks the next step we are taking towards Today marks the next step we are taking towards achieving this goal together. And I'm grateful that we have had intensive exchange with Namibia for many years to the benefit of both our countries. We are supporting the Atlas of Green Hydrogen Generation Potential in 31 countries in Africa. The Hydrogen Potential Atlas analyzes the conditions for the production of renewable energy, the necessary infrastructure, and the possibilities for the sustainable development on the ground in Africa. It is my pleasure to tell you that we are publishing the results of the Hydrogen Potential Atlas for the countries of Southern Africa today. These are the most important results. Firstly, the national production potential in Southern African countries is enormous. It's about 8.5 petawatt hours of hydrogen per year. By comparison, the whole world uses 24 petawatt hours of electricity per year. With this hydrogen production potential, Southern Africa can become a global powerhouse. Secondly, the cost of producing green hydrogen will be internationally competitive. The Hydrogen Atlas forecasts that in the years to come, 1 kilogram of hydrogen can be produced in Namibia for well under €2. Due to the scarcity of fresh water, yes, it is clear that this won't work without seawater desalination, but studies carried out to date show that this is only a very minor factor in the cost of hydrogen production, and researchers here in Namibia already have an overview of the possibility what needs to be done. The conclusion is that Namibia can supply itself with renewable energy while also profiting on a huge scale economically from the export of hydrogen. And Germany, always being an importer of energy, will also benefit from this relationship, technologically, by the advancement, but also having this wonderful cooperation. This would be a win-win situation for both our countries. Namibia has a plan. Namibia wants to export meaningful amounts of green hydrogen by 2030. The task now is to overcome technological hurdles on the path towards a hydrogen supply chain and to test out production or applications in Namibia for the first time. And to do this under real-life conditions, the plants must prove that they can run in very hot weather, high levels of solar radiation and sandy winds. And this can only work with research. That is why we are launching 4 German-Namibian pilot projects today. We learned already about them. And together we are pioneering a path towards a global hydrogen economy. Daura's Green Hydrogen Village has already been mentioned, is being developed as Africa's first net zero community. Here, the local production and use of green hydrogen will be tested for application in green agriculture, for example. 2 further projects will reduce the carbon footprint in the port of Walvis Bay. A pilot plant will use solar electricity to produce green hydrogen to supply land or sea-based applications, such as trucks or forklifts. Walvis Bay will also be the first African port to develop and use hydrogen-powered tugboats. The 4th project focuses on the development of the first hydrogen locomotive that will run on 2 different types of fuel, diesel and hydrogen. The projects are collaborations between partners from science and industry from both countries. They are receiving more than 30 million euros in funding from my ministry. Industry is providing more than 20 million euros. And I'm delighted that we can present the grant certificates to the pilot projects today. Let me mention another point that is very important to me. The best technologies, they are nothing without well-trained people to operate them. It is a great pleasure for me to present 93 Namibian scholarships recipients who are already here today with their award certificates. They will now be trained to become a new generation of experts and executives and will be readying Namibia's energy sector for the integration of green hydrogen. Congratulations to all the scholarship recipients, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say that you're not only a part of the endeavor to provide energy to the world sustainably, but to also care for the futures to come, for the future generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, none of this would have been possible without our tremendous joint collaboration. I would therefore like to express my sincere gratitude to the Namibian government and SASCAL, the Southern African Science Service Center for Climate Change and Adaptive Land Management. But we are not only here today to celebrate, we are already looking forward to the next steps, and I'm eagerly awaiting the results from the Hydrogen Potential Atlas for Southern Africa and the pilot projects. Moreover, there will be another application round for scholarships in the next second half of this year. And let me finish by expressing my conviction. Research and education, they are the keys for opening the doors to the future. And green hydrogen is a game changer to save our planet and to renew our prosperity. It is not only a vision that we are celebrating here today, it is something that we already have achieved. So let me say, today is a good day. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Frank Chinio Mugunda. I come from Marintal. Being passionate about science and technology, I was always curious about sustainability. I've been following the climate change conference, the COP26, and also the discussions that were happening in Davos, Switzerland. And I could see how involved our country, Namibia, was at a global scale. And most importantly, I see myself as being the active link between the grassroots level of education and the affiliation with the international game players in this new field. Firstly, I'm very thankful that I was one of the candidates that was selected for this scholarship. It means a lot because I'm able to really get the skill sets that I need, not just locally, but also on an international level, and what I can bring back home, and also just to be a vessel through which this can then just influence the youngsters that I work with. If one could just invest in them, inspire them, empower and transform their mindset in terms of how science can add value, especially in the renewable energy sector, I just think that if I have the necessary skill set and just pass it on to them, it's exciting.
I'm Luciano Kambala. I'm the Vice President of the Namibia National Students Organization, which is the largest student movement in the country. We generally we're very happy and we are proud to see that there's a prioritization of skills development and knowledge equipping to the young people in pursuit of the green hydrogen project or industry that's growing in the country. And really, as student leaders or as a student movement, we're happy that students are being trained before the program is implemented or is in implementation phase, so that when the program is in implementation phase, we can also own it and say that we are part of the program and we are part of the process. I think foremost my message would be that to congratulate those that managed to make it in the first cohort, that are now pursuing their masters, and those that are doing the TVET programs. And then to look at the next cohort, to say that young people should be interested and they should make sure that they put through their applications. And we show both the German government, SASCAL, and the Namibian government partners that are working with them that this green hydrogen project is not just the legacy of President Hage Geingob, but it is our legacy as Namibians, and we should own it.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Before, of course, I bring onto the podium our next speaker, Honorable Kanji Murangi, I wanted to maybe just take a few excerpts from the delivery for all of us who are not necessarily here, but are watching and listening from back home. I think it's extremely important for Namibians to begin to see themselves in this process, in this dream, and in this vision. If you listen to what Honorable Alwenda was saying, with the Dowrist project, the traditional elders, and in fact, I'd like to mention that Chief Saibeb himself is here from the Dowrist constituency, and our elders from the Dowrist constituency as well, and we would like to recognize their presence. They are actually equity participants in this project. If you listen to the service station, Old Harvard List is actually the majority shareholder, from what I've been informed, of that particular clean energy project. If you think about the tugboat, Numport is actually the one who is buying those tugboats that will be transformed to use hydrogen. And of course, if you heard about the train station, the train locomotives, TransNamib is going to be providing some of their locomotives. So the Namibian nation, whether government, private sector, traditional authorities, are all involved in these projects, and I think that should be highly encouraged for future endeavors as well, as Honorable Alwenda mentioned. I think it's then extremely important, if you heard what the scholars said, not only were they young Namibians who essentially took a chance and took an opportunity, but they did mention that they were the first cohort, which implies that there will be a second and potentially a third and maybe even a fourth cohort, but certainly at least 2 more cohorts will be advertised, and you heard that we'll be looking to put those advertisements, or at least to launch those calls later this year. So young people in Namibia, please look out for these calls. Last time we put them in the newspaper and of course on websites, but we're going to do a little bit better this time. We will go out on radio. We have worked with NBC, and we will be advertising these calls in all of the 11 languages, in all of the newspapers, nice and early, so that as many of us can apply to be a part of this very exciting journey. But without further ado, I would really love to welcome Honorable Kanji Murangi to the podium. Our Minister of Higher Education was not necessarily a member of the Green Hydrogen Council, but once we announced the scholarship program, and we were inundated. I know Sherilyn is here. She at the time, she was still working at State House with us. We received 1,100 applications, and between SASCAL, the technical working group, which had Sherilyn and Franz Kalenga, the volume of applications were overwhelming, and Honorable Kanji Murangi moved swiftly. She mobilized over 40 people from UNAM, NCARST, NAST, NTA to all help us review these applications and whittle them down to 400 and later on to the 90. So we definitely could not have done this without her able assistance and without her leadership as well. And so it's my honor to welcome Honorable Kanji Murangi to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Director of Proceedings, Your Excellency, Dr. Hage Geingob, the President of the Republic of Namibia, the Director General, Obed Kanjode of National Planning, Cabinet Ministers present here, Minister Bettina Steck-Watzinger, Minister of Education and Research of the Federal Republic of Germany, and all protocol observed. Good morning. Investment in human capital is critical in the future and development of countries. It is through quality investment in the citizenry of a country that delivers real outcomes that reduce poverty and achieve sustainable economic development and prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, our President identified green hydrogen as one of the game changer projects for Namibia. It is an industry that he started to champion already in September 2020, and in March 2021, he put it on the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2. The Namibian Youth for Green Hydrogen Scholarship Program was born out of the partnership between Namibia and Germany. The program was designed to ensure an output of trained young Namibians ready to take up positions in the emerging green hydrogen industry as early as 2024. In this regard, the German government, through its Ministry of Education and Research, allocated an amount of 5 million euro for the scholarship for the Namibian youth in Germany or in programs in collaboration with German institutions. The funding priority areas were identified as follows: technical and vocational education training, master's degree programs, and upskilling of current graduates through relevant short courses. Honorable Minister Steck-Watzinger, we are indeed grateful and appreciative of your country's immense contribution towards Namibia's pioneering human capital development in the field of green hydrogen and in other sectors of our economy. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, on the 12th of March 2022, SASCAL published the first call for applications for the green hydrogen scholarships on the SASCAL website, the Green Hydrogen Namibia website, as well as on different media platforms. A total of 1,128 applicants were received, and following a preliminary screening and data validation, only 466 applicants were shortlisted. To ensure that the evaluation of the applicants was transparent and fair, an inclusive committee was established with representatives from all those institutions that James actually outlined, alongside, of course, relevant industry players. Your Excellency, this committee was tasked with evaluating and recommending beneficiaries for the scholarships. From the 666 shortlisted, the committee recommended 93 candidates. This included 64 candidates for master's awarding, as well as 29 scholarships for TVET. Regrettably, not all applicants could be awarded as part of this pioneering group. Those who did not succeed this time, they will be notified accordingly, and they are encouraged to apply during the next application window. During the process, it became clear that as one of the first movers, the scholarship program faced the risk of not having green hydrogen-related programs readily available for students' placement. In this regard, the Namibian government once again rallied on the strategic partnership between our two countries to set up hybrid green hydrogen study programs, inclusive of coursework in both countries. It was important for the Namibian government to include its education and training institutions in this process to guarantee self-sufficiency and capacity development for the emerging industry. Honorable Minister Watzinger, the readiness of German higher education and training institutions to partner with their Namibian counterparts to develop suitable hybrid academic and technical programs attest to the long cordial relationship that exists between our two countries. Your Excellency, I'm happy to inform the audience here this morning that out of the 64 candidates we are awarding scholarships to this morning, about 45 of them are registered at UNAM and NUST, while out of the 29 TVET candidates, 23 are currently registered at our various TVET centers. Also, I am happy to inform you that 12 out of the 14 regions of our country are covered or represented in this lot. That is in all the applicants or the awardees. Your Excellency, allow me at this juncture to speak to the scholarship recipients. Congratulations on your well-deserved opportunity to be the first to be awarded the Namibian Youth for Green Hydrogen scholarships. All eyes are on you, and we count on you to excel and become the workforce to drive this important national project. Remember, we are residents of this one big house called Namibia. It is therefore imperative that we are all properly prepared and sharpened to make a positive impact in this house. You are expected to work hard towards building a formidable foundation for a shared prosperity for all. I thank you.
This is a juncture where we take an opportunity to celebrate those who have been successful recipients, of course, of the scholarships, but of course as well those who have been successful recipients of the pilot project grants as well. So at this point in time, you would have noticed that a very able-bodied gentleman worked very hard to get the table up onto the stage. They were late. I didn't even pay attention. I'm so in trouble, and it's live on TV. Very able-bodied ladies brought this furniture up here, where of course we would love to invite our visiting minister, Bettina. Please come upstairs, and of course Honorable Alwendo as well. The first certificate we'll be signing is one that signifies the grant to the 4 pilot projects. Honorables, please come on stage.
And the other one signed, will they give it up?
Please do share with us the certificate, absolutely. That is about $500 million Namibian dollars right there. It's a very heavy piece of paper. Thank you so much. Miss Bettina, please stay on stage. Please stay on stage. Tom, you can come. Yeah. So Honorable Wendo, thank you so much. Ms. Kanji Murangi, please let us join Ms. Bettina Stark-Wartinger up on stage, where we will now be signing the certificate for the 93 scholarship recipients. To give context, this was about 1.7 million euros that is being given away to our scholarship recipients. Thank you so much, Excellency. So the scholarship program is about 85 million Namibian dollars, and with about 1.7 million euros spent now, there's another 3.2 or so that is left in the kitty for future cohorts. So again, this is the start of a journey and certainly not the end, and we look forward to future allocations. For now, we would love to welcome Dr. Esperance Luvindao up on stage. She's one of our premier poets, and she will, of course, come on stage to inspire us to look into the future with bright ideas, with a lot of unity in our endeavors. And I feel like I should be joining to help with this table this time around, given my previous gaffe. Mayuris is saying I should stay out of it, so I'll stay out of it. Please let us welcome on stage Dr. Esperanza.
BODMAS. Brackets, order, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction, BODMAS. We exist within a bracket, the youth. Actually, we are the bracket. We have been divided by our race, ethnicity, and our pockets, but when you really think of it, we all really are the same. The Gen Z, that's what they call us, the youth. But what do you really want to be when you grow up? Nobody asks you that question. So not what they told you you should be when you grow up, but what do you really want to be when you grow up? And you say boldly, I want to pull the energy of the sun into my home and you say bravely, I want to tame the wind and craft my village, my city, my country. And it is possible. And even though we didn't understand what the importance of algebra was and why we needed to learn how to label the body parts of a locust, we now have come to the understanding of what the power of an educated mind can really do. We have come to the understanding of what an empowered and educated spirit can do. A spirit empowered, stretching our minds, critically developing our thinking, and enhancing our ability to integrate into tomorrow. BODMAS. Brackets, orders, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. But there is no need to add or subtract. Because as we stand here today to accept these awards, we embody our ancestors' wildest dreams. We are fortunate to be able to dream like this. This liberation of the mind. This liberation that comes far from where we thought we would ever get to. So, BODMAS. Brackets, orders, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction, and probability. You see, the probability that all 1.2 billion African youth will rise is 1 and not 0. I have done the maths in my mind, and I've come to the understanding that the probability that 1, 2, or 3 rise is 1 and not 0. I have come to the understanding that anything multiplied increases, and therefore increasing the youth. I have come to the realization that when we empower 1, 2, or 3, we yield a power rise. Because every empowered empowers 2 or 3 in their lifetime. And therefore, we have gathered here today to set forth a chain reaction of empowerment. So, educate me, so I too can stand tall like Dr. Sam Nujoma and not just quote him. Educate me, so I too can stand tall and speak things into existence that were not as though they were. Educate me, so I too can stand tall like Dr. Libertine Amadila with no fear of the future. Gib mir Bildung. Educate me. Gib mir Bildung. Empower me. Not just me, but the village of people that are dreamers just like me. They say if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Together is the journey we have gathered here to witness. Together we have marinated in the possibilities that exist if we educate the youth and give them the opportunity to rise. And only then I will rise, you will rise, we will rise. Thank you.
She never disappoints, and she's a way better master of ceremony than I am. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's celebrate Dr. Esperanza's talents once again. In the name of celebrating talent and courage, we've been requested to introduce into the program an opportunity to celebrate the 4 pilot project recipients who are actually all here. And so if it of course pleases His Excellency, we would love to welcome back up on stage our visiting minister, Bettina Stark-Warzenegger, and Honorable Tom Alwendo, and then I will call up the pilot project recipients up on stage one by one. Honorable Alwendo, Honorable Bettina, and then of course we will hand out the certificates and we will take an opportunity to take photos as well. Thank you. The very first recipients that we would love to call up on stage is the Dauris Green Hydrogen Village. Let's give them a hand of applause. They will be represented by the CEO, Jerome, but of course we would really love to welcome, of course, our chief from the Dauris constituency to join Jerome up on stage. Welcome, Dauris. In fact, Dr. Jane Allwatch, why don't you join up on stage as well for the photo? Go on. Fantastic, and of course we're also joined by a representative from the Tsitseb Conservancy as well. So, Chief, if we could show the certificates to the media, thank you. Thank you so much. We're extremely proud of you. Thank you so much. The next pilot project recipient is, of course, the Cleanergy refueling station in Walvis Bay. Let's give them a hand of applause. And they will be represented by Alexander Severis from CMB and, of course, our own ONL representative. Welcome on stage. Thank you so much. ICA Craft, of course, runs this particular project here in Namibia, so we're all looking to you to make sure you deliver on time. Thank you. Thank you, ICA. Thank you. The next pilot project recipient would be the demonstration of green hydrogen applications in the port environment, and this won't just be the conversion of a hydrogen tugboat, but of course we'd be looking to use hydrogen in heavy port equipment as well. So I'd love to welcome up our representative from Numport and of course CMB again. For the hydrogen dual fuel locomotive, certainly going to be a first on the continent. This is a locomotive that will be converted that belongs to TransNamib, and I know that CMB and a rail company from South Africa are all going to be working with TransNamib. Do we have a representative from TransNamib with us? Fantastic. Please come on stage. Thank you. Fantastic. Enough photos, I think, for all of you today. So as we then disembark from the stage, thank you so much, Honorables. I would then really love to take the opportunity to actually welcome back on stage Dr. Jane Olwatch to give the closing remarks for the event. I'll maybe give a little bit of a brief overview as to the role that SASCAL does play. Some of you may not be that familiar. But essentially, the grant funding is never really touched by the Namibian government. We will work with BMBF in terms of identifying talent and identifying the opportunities where it must go to. And BMBF receives the funding from the German government, safekeeps it, and allocates it to the various pilot projects or scholarship recipients. So effectively, they are the project manager of the arrangement. So Honorable Kanjode and I never see a dime or a dollar that ever comes from the project, and we like to keep it that way. So Dr. Jane Olwatch, thank you so much for being the grease that keeps the wheel rolling. Please come and deliver your closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, James, our program director. The President of the Republic of Namibia, His Excellency Gengo, our special guest, Honorable Bettina Stark-Wenziger, our Minister in the Federal Ministry of Education and Research, His Excellency Herbert Beck, German Ambassador in Namibia, Honorable Obed Kanjozi, Chairperson of the Green Hydrogen Council, Honorable Tom Malwendo, Minister of Mines and Energy, Honorable Kanji Morangi, the Minister of Higher Education, Technology and Innovation, and Honorable Christine Hobbs, Minister of Presidential Affairs. Please allow me also to recognize members of the Strategic Working Group and the Technical Working Group. Some of them are not here, that did exceptional work that has culminated in us being here. Distinguished guests, dear colleagues, as one former head of state remarked, history to us is who we are, but history to our children is what we do. Today, honorable ministers, distinguished guests, we have made history to our children. Today, we have made a big statement and action whose impact will be multiplied in several generations in Namibia. And this is because the impact of an investment in education and research has synergistic effect along many generations to come. Today, honorable ministers, you have endorsed one of the most important steps in the green hydrogen development in this country and other countries. The United Nations maintains that human capital development is about giving people more freedom to live lives they value. This means developing abilities and giving them a chance to use them. To the recipients of the scholarships, I have met you this morning. I congratulate you, and I assure you that SASCO will be with you and will be able to prepare you to take up green hydrogen industry in Namibia, in the region, and the world at large. And this is because of this partnership between Germany and Namibia that you can be able to be afforded this opportunity. Honorable ministers, distinguished guests, in the development of a new industry like green hydrogen, and the honorable ministers have emphasized it, research takes priority because we need it for policy formulation and implementation. I was very happy when the honorable minister, Bettina, mentioned the Atlas of Green Hydrogen Generation Potential. This project is one of the most important projects that I think, and I believe that is going to be the only reference data sets as we try to look at green hydrogen and the other derivatives. SASCO is going to provide the link to our new team members so that you can explore how the Atlas is and what it means. A lot of data sets are there, and this will be your entry into the green hydrogen industry. As I conclude, Honorable Ministers, the current levels of climate change were red-coded through the IPCC recent reports. Last week, we launched the SASCO2 research program, which is also funded by the BMBF. And we got a preview into how the future will look like, particularly in SADC, and it doesn't look good. Projections are saying SADC is the reddest country on the planet. And in fact, we could be experiencing longer droughts and floods lasting for about 3 to 5 years. The implication of this climate that we are almost accessing on water resources in particular, on agriculture and others, is something that we have not experienced before. We remain positive but cautious, knowing that SADC isn't alone, and today we have demonstrated how partnerships can work to put people together to tackle those serious challenges. And SASCO is always grateful because of this partnership that BMBF has with SASCO member states, and to continue to strengthen the research landscape in the region and also contribute to the region's knowledge economy. And this is important because the basic economic resource, the means of production, is no longer capital, no labor, no land. It is and will remain knowledge. So, Honorable Ministers, thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you for those inspirational words, Dr. Jane Olwach. We will continue to work closely with SASCO to deliver the potential of this project and this program over the coming years. We are able to sit here and enjoy the hospitality of State House because a few people work extremely hard to put all of these events together. And I think to represent us and to represent the hard work that the presidency does put together to host us, we would love to welcome our minister in the presidency, Christy Koibes, to come and give a vote of thanks on behalf of the presidency. Madam, please welcome on stage.
Your Excellency Dr. Hagichi Kenkop, President of the Republic of Namibia, Honorable Bettina Stark-Watzinger, Minister of Education and Research for the Federal Republic of Germany, and guest of honor this morning. Allow me, Director of Ceremony, to stand on the already established protocols. A lot of people, when they are asked to do the vote of thanks, says, my task is simple. Mine is not as simple as the others, because as a politician, you have to acknowledge and salute everybody, because come elections, you want to be voted in. Because the danger is when you don't acknowledge somebody, they may not vote you in. So my task is not that simple. Your Excellency, our president always says that Namibia is a friend to all and an enemy to none. Today we celebrate as we welcome the visit of an all-weather friend in the person of Minister Bettina, who is here with us to celebrate the transformative power of partnerships and of togetherness. Your Excellency, right from the onset, the German government has lent its support to our ambitions to industrialize Namibia through the harnessing of our God-given natural resources and endowments. Some say that the faith of a mustard seed can move mountains. The partnership we celebrate this morning is an excellent example of these wise words. The German Ministry of Research and Education were the very first who believed in our dream to incubate a thriving local green hydrogen economy. Their generous support was delivered only 5 months after the launch of the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2. This show of faith resulted in overwhelming support from peer European governments and culminated in an unprecedented partnership with the whole European Union. Director of Proceedings, allow me to thank and celebrate the young, brave Namibians. Brave, I say, because they have taken the courage and plunged into uncharted territory. They applied for scholarships and for the pilot project's grants. You could have chosen so many other alternative courses of action, but instead, you decided to put shoulder to boulder and join us in our efforts to pioneer a new industry in our motherland. The visionary leadership from my fellow cabinet members and the Green Hydrogen Council, always under the stewardship and tutelage of our beloved president, has led us to this point, and we look forward to what lies ahead. We are grateful to you all for your sacrifices. Lastly, all the unsung heroes, from State House, the Presidency, SASCAL, the Ministry of Higher Education, Technology, Innovation of Namibia, the Ministry of Education and Research from the federal government of Germany, all the officers, ministries, and agencies who are part of this endeavor, we say thank you. Now there's a lastly, and there's a finally, and there's an in conclusion. Now in conclusion, we are reminded today that this is not the end, but just the beginning of a prosperous journey. We look forward to receiving many more applications for future placements in this national scholarship program. We wait with anticipation for those of you who will return with newfound skills to be deployed in our country. We await the sound of construction and development to thunder across the Brandberg Mountains as it overlooks the Downrus constituency under the direct watch of the great Downrus people. The future of Namibia is indeed bright, and we are humbled that you have all chosen to illuminate our beloved country for all to see across the globe. May God bless you all, and I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to announce that all the Master Students awardees and the VET student awardees, as well as the pilot project representative, to be in the hallway for photo session immediately after the national and AU anthem. Once again, thank you for your presence, and please enjoy the refreshments that will be presented just outside the hallway.
Let us all unite and celebrate together the victories won for our liberation.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for attending this auspicious occasion. Of course, we would love to take the opportunity to encourage our president as he heads out to join our ministers and our guests outside for a few photos, if of course time permits, Your Excellency, potentially with some of the scholars and the pilot projects as well. Protocol, could you please usher him to the photos? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hands of applause. Media, you may stay in the room. There might be an opportunity for a brief Q&A with some of the principals in the room. Thank you very much.
Science and technology. I was always curious about sustainability. I've been following the climate change conference, the COP26, and also the discussions that were happening in Davos, Switzerland. And I could see how involved our country, Namibia, was at a global scale. And most importantly, I see myself as being the active link between the grassroots level of education and the affiliation with the international game players in this new field. Firstly, I'm very thankful that I was one of the candidates that was selected for this scholarship. It means a lot because I'm able to really get the skill sets that I need, not just locally, but also on an international level, and what I can bring back home, and also just to be a vessel through which this can then just influence the youngsters that I work with. If one could just invest in them, inspire them, empower and transform their mindset in terms of how science can add value, especially in the renewable energy sector, I just think that if I have the necessary skill set and just pass it on to them, it's exciting.
Is not what it used to be. Intertwined challenges continue to entangle humanity in their grasp. The planet that we call home edges towards dissipation, and even though Mother Nature always does her part, her natural resources are constantly depleting as we continue leading her down this unsustainable path. The elders have always said that when elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. As humanity seeks selfish progression at the cost of resources that cannot be replenished, the earth cries out,